1, 2, 3.
You raising your hand?
Yeah! Here we go now. 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 Here we go. Here we go. Some of y'all might get with this, and some of y'all won't. But listen, let me clear my throat.
Hey guys, it's your girl Kabachi, aka Chelsea, and you already know where I'm at. Korea, South Korea. This video is the top 5 mistakes to avoid when moving to live in South Korea. I've been living here in South Korea for approximately 6 months, going on 7 months now actually, and it's been wonderful. It's been great. I've been loving it, having a blast here. Just everything I imagined it would be and then some. But I want to tell you guys about some things that I've noticed that you should probably avoid if you're moving to live here in South Korea as well. So hopefully some of my mistakes can be beneficial to you guys and help you guys during your big move. Number 1, don't be sneaky with the trash, okay? Because trash system here in Korea is different than how it is for us back home in America. Instead of having giant dumpsters, you just go and throw all your trash in, and if you live in a house, you push your dumpster out to the curb and then you just wait for the trash men to come pick it up on trash day. Or if you live in an apartment complex in America, then there's a communal dumpster, you just go and throw all your waste in. People can choose to recycle if they want to, I guess. So in America, it's very optional and flexible. Well, here in Korea, that's not necessarily the case. They want everything specifically broken out, divided up. It's so anal, but hey, it is what it is. I'm living in somebody else's country, so I gotta follow their rules, right? And you have to buy these specific bags for your town, for your area, and it has your city name on it, and those are the bags that are designated for your trash. So if you have regular waste and you're gonna buy the trash bags that's designated for regular waste, and you're gonna put all your trash in there for the week and then dispose of it in the proper area that they tell you to dispose of it. If you live in an apartment complex, then there's usually like an area near the front entry of your apartment. You'll have recyclables, your regular waste, your I don't know, like any other type of exotic waste that you can come up with, and it'll all be sectioned out and you throw it away there. And that's what I've seen, that's what I've observed since I've been here. I'll tell you a little anecdotal story about my experience not following this system. So what do? I bring with me, like, I'm thinking when I'm packing to move here, oh, I'm gonna bring like a giant pack of like 100 of the giant black is it Goody brand trash bags from America, right, that we use in America. You know, nice like drawstring, the expandable stretchy ones, so I can just throw all my trash in there and basically like use one bag for the whole like week and then some before I have to throw it out. So I'm thinking like, yeah, I'd be smart, because a friend of mine told me that trash bags here in Korea are on the smaller side, and I generate a lot of trash, so I was like, I'm gonna pack and bring my own trash bags with me. I didn't think anything of it. Alright, so I get here and it was not the case. I could not use my trash bags. Well, I didn't know it at the time, but I had used my trash bags up to a certain point. But then one day, the landlord of my apartment complex decided to be sneaky and take a picture of the trash bag and send it to my boss. My boss asked me if that was my trash bag that I put out there, because it was a giant black trash bag, completely different from all the other trash bags that they use here in Korea, obviously. And of course I owned up to it. I said, yeah, but I had been putting it out there in the same spot every day, every Thursday for trash collection, and nobody said anything otherwise. And then my boss informed me, no, you know, we're not supposed to do that. It's technically illegal to put your trash in a different bag other than what's designated. You need to dispose of it like properly, or replace the bag inside of the designated bags, which I couldn't do because I had a giant black trash bag filled with a whole bunch of trash I had been generating for a good almost 2 weeks. So anyway, I was a little sour after that, because I'm like, man, I get this far, like I'm into month 5 before something with the trash ended up happening to me. But you know, to live and learn. And of course I went to my local convenience store or supermarket and showed them pictures of the type of bags I'm supposed to have, so they can point me in the right direction of where I can buy them, and yeah, let that be that. So when you come here, make sure that you follow the trash disposal rules. Don't be a dick. Don't be that type of American that just is like, I'm gonna be American. I'm gonna put my trash where I want to put my trash and put it in whatever bag I want to put it in whatever bag. No. Alright, so the second mistake to avoid is cluttering up your luggage when you're packing to move here with bath towels, like full-size bath towels. Now I know that sounds a little strange, but I've heard that, before I moved here, I heard that Korea doesn't really sell the large bath towels that we're used to in America. They only have like the little half body towels, because here in Korea they are very fond of using these little tiny towels to dry and clean off their whole body. So it's not really a culture of like, oh, let me just wrap my towel around me as I step out the shower and I'm dripping wet, but the towel is gonna soak up most of the wetness. No, it's like you get a little towel, you do your diligence, you dry yourself off, and there you go. So I'm like, I'm gonna bring with me like 3 giant bath towels I got from Bed Bath & Beyond before I moved here. Well, it took up a lot of space. I could have allocated that space in my luggage for other things, but when I got here, I realized that you can actually get the full-length bath towels now at an E-Mart, at your local, actually sometimes in your cities, you can find like little shops that have like, they sell linens and like the floor pillows, because Korean style dining is like you sit on the floor, so they sell a lot of floor pillows, curtains, and tapestries. In those type stores, you can actually find the full body bath towels, and they're not bad. You know, it's not like, you know, amazing quality like you're staying at the Ritz-Carlton, but if you need a full-length bath towel, there you go. And of course it's summer season here now, so I use those when I'm going to the beach, or if I'm going somewhere like an amusement park or water park or wherever I'm going to be using a towel, okay? And the third mistake to avoid is when you first move here, and if you have it where your employer provides your apartment, it's most likely going to be like partially furnished, or maybe you're looking to buy your own place and it's not going to be fully furnished. So what do you want to do initially? You want to decorate. You want to get furniture to fill up your apartment and make it feel cozy, make it feel, you know, like your home. The mistake I made was thinking, yeah, I need to go and get some furniture items, and you know, I'm searching Gmarket, which is like the Asians version of Amazon over here, and looking at different like, you know, things that I can order and have delivered to my place that I can assemble myself, you know, just to make it cute and things. Well, I learned that Koreans throw out some really good furniture. And what I mean by that is you want to target the apartment complexes that are like wealthy, the apartment areas that look really nice and established, that are kind of fairly new, if not, because the Koreans, they actually like throw out like, you know, sofa that they deem as too old, which is usually like 3 or 2 years old, and nightstands, cabinetries, gosh, like you can find a variety of different furnishings, and they're pretty, you know, like only gently used, because I don't know about y'all, but I'm originally from Detroit and back home in America, and I know anything that was put out on the curb definitely belonged on the curb, because it was like trashy trash stuff. Like, and if it was a sofa, you don't want to reuse that sofa because it probably has AIDS and STDs and a whole bunch of other very offensive things. So here I feel a little bit better, more, you know, safe about utilizing somebody else's old furniture, because you know the saying goes, somebody else's trash is another man's treasure. And literally I'm walking home from work and I'm passing nightstand, tables, chair sets, right, like matching, and I'm thinking to myself, if only I would have waited, instead of buying almost $100 plus of like, you know, this, that, or the other off the internet or from a specific department store, I could have just picked this up and then hiked it back up to my apartment, right? That is one thing though, like most likely you won't have a car, personal vehicle, unless you know friends with a car or your employer wants to help you out. If you do find things on the sides of the roads or in front of these apartment complexes that you want to actually use in your own apartment, you will have to figure out the logistics of how you're going to get it back to your apartment place, because you know, you walk everywhere here, you take taxi, you take subway, and I'm not saying like, hey, I have no shame. I will be that person carrying 2 chairs like this, walking past you on the street, good day to you, sir, you know, because hey, it's free chairs, I didn't have to pay for it. But some people are, you know, a little bit more bougie than that, and they don't want to be seen carrying around some dumpster dived furniture. But you know, it's whatever, it's all good, to each his own, but I'm just letting you know that is what it is here. And the fourth mistake to not make is bringing a lot of baking goods with you. I know I've read in articles and saw some videos before when I was preparing to move here to Korea that a lot of English teachers were bringing like baking goods, and once I moved here I kind of did not understand why, and I'll tell you the reason for that. Here in Korea, they do not typically use conventional ovens. It's not like us in America where we like to bake pies and pizzas and we live off of frozen TV dinners and, you know, the cliche things such as that. They don't typically, in their cuisine, in their style food, you know, you have to use a conventional oven, like an actual oven, because most of their dishes are prepared on the stovetop, on burners. So to them, it's not much of a necessity to have an oven. And where you will find ovens in Korean apartments are in the really expensive apartments, like the condos, the apartments that's gonna run you $3,000 a month rent. Yeah, you'll find an oven in there. You'll find a whole bunch of other nice things in there. But in your basic apartment, especially like the studio apartments, the one bedrooms that you might be provided with, that your employer provides you with for us fellow English teachers, you're not gonna have an actual oven to bake. So it's kind of pointless bringing a whole bunch of, you know, specific spices you would use in, you know, grandma's apple pie and you know, those cupcakes that you like to bake and things of that nature. No. My tip and advice for you there is to either buy the smaller convention ovens that you can put on your countertop in your kitchen, and then you can bake smaller things in there if you really love baking, or find a friend here in Korea that has it like that and has an oven in their apartment, and then you can go over there and bake all you want with them. And utilize their equipment. But yeah, don't waste your space in your luggage with a whole bunch of baking related goods, because you're probably not going to use it very much here in Korea. And I love to bake. I've been craving brownies recently, and y'all don't know what I would do for some brownies right now, like seriously. And last but not least, this is going to sound a little controversial maybe to some of you, I made the mistake of trying to make a shit ton of friends here when I first moved here. And by friends, I mean, like, I already had Korean friends, like, living here, actual natives, like, living here before I moved here, so I'm not talking about them friends. I'm talking about, like, oh, I want to be, like, you know, really connected and network and make friends with other English teachers in the community, or, you know, in Central Seoul, and go to all these meetups, because you will find so many options to, you know, socialize, to get out, which is good, because, you know, you need that at some point. You might feel homesick, you might want to just be amongst other English-speaking fellows. It becomes an issue of you make so many friends right off the bat when you first moved here, because you're thinking like, yeah, I need people to hang out with, I need people to explore and to like do this with and to share experiences with. Don't get me wrong, that's perfectly fine. Like, we all need that. Like, I have a couple of friends, you know, that were English teachers that I met when I first moved here. But what you will find yourself doing is gradually, as you get more settled in and into life here and living here, that you won't be as dependent on them or needing, you know, to have to go out and socialize and meet other English-speaking, you know, teachers or foreigners, because you'll start to, you know, figure things out on your own and do things not necessarily on your own, but you're not so ran to have like a big group of other English people around you necessarily, and you'll find yourself not really hitting those same people up and hanging out with them as often. So it's like you made so many friends, and I use air quotes because, you know, unless you really hit it off and you guys stay in contact and you guys are dependent, you know, on each other's friendship the whole duration while both of you guys are here, most of the time, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to remain that way throughout the whole year or the term of your contract, your teaching contract while you're here. And like I said, that doesn't mean you shouldn't go out, meet people, make some friends and whatnot. Just don't overdo it, because it becomes very tiring to have to like keep it up after a while. And then that's when you end up having just, I don't know, like so many people to have to keep up with, and then you have your own life as well. So I have a bonus advice of mistakes you shouldn't make is, ladies, heels. Korea has the worst sidewalks and roads in some areas. Heels are the devil. They're your worst nightmare. Don't wear heels unless you know for a fact that you have a specific event in mind. You're gonna go rock them heels for like a couple of hours, and be prepared. Put some flats or change shoes in your bag, because if you don't, you're gonna be crying later that night, because walking around these streets in heels is death on you. Okay, ladies, don't pack a suitcase full of heels to Korea. And if you really want heels, wait till you get to Korea and try and buy them if you fit into their shoe sizes, because they have really nice cushiony heels that are specific for their type of sidewalks and cobblestones and wibbly wobblies, because it's like a squishier type heel. It's not like a hard stiletto heel like most of our Western heels are. It's weird to explain, but once you get here and try on some of their shoes, you'll, especially during summertime, like you'll understand what I'm talking about. It's like foam inside. The shock helps absorb all of the wibbly wobbly when you're walking, okay? So that would be very helpful for you. So those were my 5 mistakes that you should avoid when moving to live in Korea. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe. I muchly appreciate it. And I have class I gotta go teach now. Bye!